Secretary Yellen touching down in Beijing, preparing to meet with Chinese officials for economic talks as trade tensions continue to simmer. Kailey Leinz back with us with more. Hey, Kailey.
Hey, John. Yes, she's officially there, but her first formal engagement won't be until tomorrow, Friday, where she is set to meet with the premier of China, Li Qiang. She'll be meeting with other senior government officials as well over the course of this visit, which does go through July 9th. But as for what tangible may come out of it, the bar does seem to be set pretty low. The Treasury Secretary, of course, has been expressing her desire to make this trip for months now, but really this is just about opening lines of communication. She is likely to raise issues around trade, around debt relief for distressed countries, issues like climate change as well. But it doesn't seem that we're expecting any major breakthroughs or real deliverables coming out of this meeting. This is really just a victory for the administration in that they are talking. This, of course, follows Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who made his own visit to Beijing last month. And Bloomberg reporting today that after Yellen's visit, climate envoy John Kerry is expected to make his own trip to Beijing to address the climate change issue. But the backdrop here is very, very tough, John. Obviously, there has been a bit of a tit for tat when it comes to the fighting around trade and economically sensitive issues. China, just days before Treasury Secretary Yellen arrived, put export curbs on two very strategically important metals, gallium and germanium, where the U.S. is considering imposing restrictions on China's access to cloud computing. Plus, you have the defense concerns as well. Chinese President Xi Jinping was giving a speech earlier today talking to the military forces around Taiwan, asking them to strengthen drills and boost its capacity to win wars. So geopolitically and economically, a very difficult backdrop for the Treasury Secretary as she starts these conversations.
Kailey, what's your take on this? Does this set the stage for a leaders' summit later this year? What are you hearing about that?
Well, that's a very difficult question because obviously after Secretary of State Blinken's visit last month, there was optimism that it could set the stage for President Biden to meet with his Chinese counterpart potentially at the summit later this fall. Then just very shortly after, you, of course, had the dictator comment that President Biden made at a donor event, which China reacted very negatively to. So it's just a question of whether or not the Chinese president may be open to meeting with the president in person. But Biden has continually expressed his hope that a meeting will be taking place in the coming months.